Right guys, well this is the press and media room here at Anfield, and it's basically what it says on the tin, a press and media room. Where I'm sitting is where the manager will sit after the game and before and answer questions to the world's press and media. Where you guys are sitting is where the world's press and media will sit and fire off questions to the manager, who obviously at the moment is Roy Hodgson. This is also the room where Rafael Benitez went on his famous rant about Sir Alex Ferguson and about the facts. He did this where I'm sitting now. And also, where Fernando Torres signed his first ever Liverpool contract. The players usually sign the contracts at the training ground down at Melwood, but Fernando Torres, being a big Liverpool fan, knowing the history and the heritage of the club, insisted that he signed his contract in this room. So where I'm sitting is where Torres signed his contract. As I said, the press and media fire off questions to the manager, and then the next day we read the headlines in the papers, and obviously they've written something completely different, which is the way of the press and the media in this country. Does anybody know what this room was used for before it was a press and media room? Well, I mentioned before, didn't I? Go on, mate, you know?
Was it a place where you hired the football players?
No, nearly. Well, good guess anyway. It was the boot room. Do you know what I mentioned before, the boot room? Well, the famous boot room was a 6 foot by 6 foot room, and this was the original doorway. This was where the boot room was, and basically it was where the apprentice players cleaned the professionals' boots, but it was also where the tactics were done. It was the downfall of many teams were plotted out of that boot room. And one day, the likes of Bob Paisley, Ronnie Moran, were sitting in the boot room having a swift couple of bevies, a couple of Guinnesses, and Bill Shankly was a teetotal, so he opposed to any of that. Shankly walks in the boot room one day and he sees Paisley and Moran sitting off before the game. Says, "What's going on here, lads? What are you doing sitting off in the boot room?" Bit suspicious. And Ronnie Moran was known for being a quick thinker, and he said, "Oh, Gaffer, we're just talking tactics." And Shankly liked that, so he believed him. Really, if you're having a couple of Guinnesses, he believed him. And every game after that, Shankly, Moran and Paisley would go in there and they'd talk tactics about the team before the game. And it's believed that many Premier League titles were won out of that boot room. Which leads me on to this question: does anyone know what trophy Liverpool haven't won since the boot room was knocked down? The Premier League. In 1992, Sky virtually bought football, and he insisted that every club had to have a press and media room. So Liverpool's board at the time, in the wisdom, said, where can we put the press and media room? We'll knock down the boot room, and Liverpool haven't won the title ever since. So, hands up if you want the boot room back. Have we got any builders in here today? You can knock us up a little boot room. Hopefully we'll do better and won't be losing to Wolves. But yeah, so I'll give you a chance now if you want to do the manager role. If you want to pretend you're Fernando Torres, pretend you're Roy Hodgson, getting questions fired at you. You can sit up here with this in the background and get any pictures taken, and then we'll take you down to the home team dressing room. So you've got a couple of minutes, guys. You just want to get up there, don't be shy.